Hello my dear friends, what is up? It's Melanie and today we are doing a college video. This video is geared towards students who have not been to college yet, or maybe you are going back to college and you just need help, which is totally fine too, because I would watch these like every year. Anything to get me in the mood for school. We're going to be talking about 50 things that you actually need to bring to school as advice coming from an incoming junior.
Okay.
You don't have to take advice from me because yes, it's true that my first year was remote because of COVID. My second year, I did a lot of moving, okay? I went to school, I moved back, I went abroad, and then I already moved here. I feel like I've moved a lot of places. I feel like I'm pretty good at packing, or like pretty strategic about it. So I'm gonna give you guys some little tips that hopefully help you out. Of course, there's a lot of basic stuff like your clothes, your toothbrush, soap, I don't know, other things that you should also bring that I'm not mentioning. This is not your entire checklist. This is just little things that if you haven't been to college before, or maybe you just want tips packing or to go over a list before you head off. For starters, a 10-foot long charger, and emphasis on the 10-foot. Like, you want a long charger. You're tired in college, you want to lie in your bed as much as you can. Don't stress yourself out with one of those 3-foot chargers where you have to sit next to an outlet. Just do yourself a service, okay? Okay, I said a rug. This is kind of extra. This is not something you need, obviously, but I found this very helpful last year because college dorms are dirty and I am a huge floor person. And also a little tip is to look on Amazon for a lot of things like that. You can Amazon Prime ship it to your school, and I think I got my rug for like $19. Don't bring that in your car or your suitcase. That's not gonna work out for you. Third thing I said is comfy clothes, emphasis on the comfy. First year, I'm not gonna lie, I tried to pack very few t-shirts. I tried to pack kind of minimally, and I tried to pack cute things, but realistically, you're gonna wanna wear sweats, you're gonna wanna wear t-shirts and sweatshirts, and I always think like, oh, if I don't bring that, I'll just dress cute. But the truth is, I still just rewear the same t-shirt and then I go buy more. So make sure you pack clothes that you are actually comfortable in wearing, or else you're just gonna be uncomfortable at school. Okay, I said a throw blanket. This is always handy to have either on your bed or if you're bringing it around. Okay, I said practical storage. I personally love having a lot of bins, so I'll just bring a lot of like cube bins. It's really easy to get these at like IKEA or Amazon. I have these zip up ones that fold flat so that it optimizes storage space, and I can just pack it up, unzip it, and then I have a bunch of like square bins that help me organize my clothes, my makeup, my skincare, my book. A good mattress cushion. I also highly recommend vacuum sealing this. Usually the thing is, if you just buy it and bring it to school, that's completely fine because it's already like pre-packaged and vacuum sealed really small for you, but I would recommend bringing it home with you and reusing it all 4 years of school, just because they are pretty pricey, but I think you should invest in a good one because your sleep is so important in school. So also invest in some good vacuum seal bags because these are so helpful, you know, are tight on space, say you're driving to school. I also will say a lot of these things are a little bit different depending on if you're driving to school, flying to school, how far you're driving, how big your car is. So you kind of have to keep that in mind. If you have a storage space at your school or nearby, that's also another thing that can be very handy. I said a good lamp. Well, I think this really depends on your school. My room right now doesn't even have like an overhead light. It just has lamps. But if you honestly, I know it's on high maintenance, but if you prefer a certain type of lighting, this will be really helpful for when you study, because I don't know, if you have some atrocious light that puts you to sleep, or it's too dim, or it feels like a hospital when you turn it on because it's too blue or something like that, that will actually affect your studies, I feel like. Also, if you are sharing a room with a roommate, it's important to have maybe a good light that can like move or adjust just to where you are, so that you're being considerate of your roommate who may be trying to sleep or have different sleep schedules than you. Outlet converter. This is kind of a must-have. You're always going to be charging a lot of things, plugging a lot of lights and random stuff in. So honestly, bring one or even two. I have two in my room right now and it's very handy. Another kind of tip is think about how you pre-pack your clothes. If you are thinking mostly about space, rolling your clothes is really good, but what I did my first year was I already had my boxes that I was going to store each clothing item in. So I had like a little bin for t-shirts and a little bin for workout clothes, and I pre-folded and rolled everything and just shoved it in each bin so that once I got to my dorm, I just took it out and put it in a drawer, and I didn't have to grab every item out of a trash bag and refold it. I mean, depending on your school, you might be a little bit short on unpacking time, or you just might want to hang out with friends once you get to school and not unpack for a whole day. Next thing I said is a speaker, possibly a shower speaker, or just, I don't know, a speaker for your room, shower or bathroom storage. This varies a lot with schools too. If you're sharing a shower or have communal showers, you probably will need a shower caddy, and in that case, I definitely recommend getting a plastic one with holes so it doesn't fill up with water. There are fabric ones. The fabric ones always end up getting kind of soggy and smelly. My first year on campus, I was sharing one shower with 4 girls. We just kept our stuff in the shower, but I had one of those little rack things that hangs around the shower head, and this just kind of helped so we didn't have 10 bottles of shampoo on the floor. Next thing I said is a fan or a heater. This also depends if your school has AC. It depends where your school is, if you're in a hot, humid location, or if you're in a freezing cold place where it snows. Yeah, at Pepperdine, we only have AC in like the classroom buildings, not the dorms, and they get pretty hot. So it's kind of dreadful to sleep when it's really, really hot. So definitely bring or buy a fan. The tall fans are really helpful, like the super powerful ones, because honestly, I don't know, I feel like warmth and body temperature is not something you should downplay. I also said a travel bag is something I didn't think about because I packed everything kind of just by shoving it in my car, but I didn't think about if I went on a little weekend trip or if I was traveling home for a weekend or just to visit for, I don't know, Thanksgiving or something. So I didn't have like a carry-on suitcase or like a duffel bag or anything basically, because I packed everything in boxes and trash bags. So I had to borrow one, which is fine, but I think this is something that's kind of handy to have. I also said small practical products. So this is something I usually do whenever I move somewhere, and I kind of live by it. Instead of bringing huge bottles of shampoo and conditioner, I like to pack little travel size bottles just so that I can space out like when I go buy new things, because it's annoying not to bring shampoo and conditioner when you know you have like so much of it at home, but also a lot of times it is really hard to bring it. Flying, it's like impossible, and it's hard to bring it in a car because sometimes it'll spill, sometimes you just want to have less stuff to move in your house. So I'll just have little bottles of it in my toiletries. That way it kind of like tides me over for the first week or however long of school, and then I can just eventually get those things that I need once I run out. Okay, this one depends on the person, but I said nail polish. I'm someone who likes doing my nails as a fun little like calming, relaxing thing, and last year I was like, I don't need nail polish, Melanie, like you can tough it out for a year, it's fine. But you know what I ended up doing? I ended up getting my nails done. I ended up buying a bunch of new nail polish and nail polish remover, and it was just so unnecessary. So this year I was gonna say I packed some, but I packed like a lot. I packed my entire gel nail kit, but honestly I think that's smart. So I would recommend bringing it. Just like know yourself and like where you're gonna cave. I also said to bring spices. And if you don't have a kitchen, I recommend this just because like a lot of schools have pretty bland food, and it's kind of the difference between having a meal that you enjoy and one you don't. I would also say that spices are small and they're not really gonna spill, so it's pretty helpful, but they also add up if you buy a bunch of them. So, you know, I was packing my little Trader Joe's spices and don't regret it at all. This one also kind of particular to me, but I said crafts and paint supply. If you saw my moving video my first year, I brought this whole little like carrier of craft things. So I had like threads, I had friendship bracelet making stuff, I had jewelry making, hot glue gun. And what I learned is you are so busy in school. I love doing crafts and I barely had time to do anything. So what I learned from that is I just brought a couple paints and my yarn or like my crochet hooks, and I can buy yarn when I want to make something specific. I just think you need to focus on a couple things that you really, really enjoy and that you realistically are gonna do, because trust me guys, I was not out there crafting my own jewelry or building things with hot glue guns. iPad or school supply, highly recommend an iPad. I know iPads are expensive, they're definitely an investment, but when it comes to having so many notebooks and carrying so many, going paperless is so convenient in college. Bedding, of course, you need to bring bedding, but I also would give a little tip of getting specially catered heating bedding or like cooling technology bedding depending on how hot your school is. Clothing hangers, I also mentioned this in my moving videos, but something I do is keep all my clothing on hangers and then just wrap it in a garbage bag. That way you don't have to take stuff out and hang it up. You can just take the garbage bag off and put it in, and it's also pretty efficient if you're packing your stuff in a car. Okay, realistically, you're probably gonna shop, so just bring a couple extra hangers. Picnic blanket. I feel like this is helpful. I don't know, I always use one. I always keep one in my car. Just because buying another blanket is something that kind of sucks. Like if I buy another blanket here, I'm definitely not bringing it home, and then it's just a waste of like 20 bucks. Command strips or command hooks or some type of tape that doesn't ruin a wall. You don't want to bring all this room decor and have no way to put it up. Printer? Okay, two things with this. Most schools should have printers, but sometimes it's really helpful to have your own printer or share your own printer with roommates, just because you might be grinding a paper or need your resume printed when everything's closed, and then you're kind of screwed. And then the other type of printer I was thinking is like a Polaroid printer. I think it's so helpful because then you can just print photos as you're going throughout the year with the new friends you make and the new memories you make, which is always so fun. Medicine, I think this is really important to have, and you probably don't want to push off, you know, buying your allergy medicine or your Advil when you're dying of allergies or when you have a massive headache. You should probably just bring a little bit of that. I think this would be helpful, but having a photo or having a physical like insurance card or ID card or your car insurance, you should probably have your car insurance with you already. But there's usually stuff that comes up where you have to fill out papers, and instead of having to call your parents and get a hold of them, it's really helpful to have those things on hand already. Like just have a little, you know, album in your phone. I said slides or sandals, especially house slippers, because dorm rooms be dirty, and also you don't always want to put on shoes if you're just walking to get food and coming back. Shower flip-flops too, that's another one. Good headphones, like noise canceling ones, maybe even earbuds if you don't know if your roommate snores. The noise canceling headphones are just helpful because there's always going to be people around you in college, or if your roommates are noisy and you need a study. Little mirrors are always very handy, like a little makeup mirror, be even a compact, or it could be one of those little stand lighting ones. I don't know, I feel like mirrors are very helpful all the time. Like a little desk mirror, a long mirror, helpful, not necessary, but okay. As far as books go, I packed so many books, and realistically you probably aren't gonna have a whole lot of time to do like leisure reading on top of all your school reading. So this year what I did was I really narrowed it down to like 3, and if I need more, I'll get them on a Kindle, I'll buy them here. Okay, I also set a camera. It could be a disposable, it could be a little digital camera. I just think, I don't know, everyone likes to capture little memories from college, so that's a fun thing to remember because you're not gonna want to buy a new camera at school. I said various bags just because last year I think I just brought like a backpack, but having like purses, I don't know why I didn't think I'd ever use a purse. Like you go out on the weekends, you're still gonna want other bags. I ended up buying a bunch of tote bags when I already have a billion, but having different size bags is really helpful too because you don't know how much you're gonna carry. One semester you might have to carry around a textbook, and the next semester you might only carry your laptop. So of course you could just use a little tote bag. You don't have to lug around a backpack. Laundry bag, hamper, you could buy this, but I have a laundry bag instead of like one of those foldable bigger ones, so it's really easy to like fold up and bring with me. I also said to pack laundry materials, so I actually forgot to do this year, but what I did last year was I just packed a little Ziploc baggie of Tide Pods. I grabbed some dryer sheets, and same thing as all my toiletries, same thought process that I'll just buy more Tide Pods, buy more laundry sheets when I need them. Brita, please bring a Brita. Just a little tip is to identify or label your items, whether that's a little drawing or putting a little sticker or writing your name on it. If you have the same exact Apple charger as your 3 other roommates, or you have the same looking laptop with no case on it, there's bound to be a mix-up at some point. I also said Ziploc bags. This to me is very handy because I'm a snacky girl. I love using it for snacks, but I also use it for kind of everything random. I use it to organize my stuff, hair ties, or makeup items. Water bottle, of course, you're gonna need a water bottle. I also said scissors. I don't know how to, I feel like I use scissors all the time. If you don't have scissors anywhere, like it's kind of annoying. I could be wrong, but I think it was very helpful. Maybe it's because I like crafts though. I also said a toolkit. This is another thing you might not need depending on how much furniture, how much stuff you need to build, but I always bring this little tiny toolkit that I think is from IKEA, and I always end up using it for some reason, or I always end up letting someone else use it, so it's always very helpful. Extra grocery bags, we are sustainable girlies here. I also also said photos are probably like the most convenient type of room decor because they take up a lot of space and they're very catered to you, obviously. And I also just think photos are really good for homesickness. Like if you miss your mom, you can look at your photo of you and your mom. And I also said cleaning supplies. You obviously don't need to bring a whole bottle of like Windex with you. This is just something I did not really think about. This also depends how cleanly you are. Having extra paper towels, extra toilet paper, something you should probably get pretty early on. I also think bringing even a tiny little package of wet wipes is super helpful for wiping down your dorm room or even like your bed frame, because not to freak you out, but a bunch of other kids have stayed in the same dorm room as you. I know not everyone has this, but a Costco card, especially if you're driving, Costco gas, super helpful. If you have roommates you're sharing food with, Costco, super helpful to buy stuff in bulk because we are all trying to stay on a budget here. Professional clothes, this depends on what your major is and like what grade you're in, but I feel like there's almost always an occasion where they'd prefer, or you might even have to dress semi-professionally. So, you know, just having like a blazer or having closed-toed shoes or a button-up is nice, so you don't have to frantically look for something last minute. I also said towels. Go to a beachy school, maybe bring an extra beach towel, Q-tips, and like cotton pads and stuff. I do the same thing with those where I just pack a couple of them, but I'm kind of like I don't know, I just really like Q-tips, so I kind of always have to have them or else I freak out. I always make sure to bring some of those. I also added on a couple of things that I don't recommend bringing, just to end this off. The first thing is not too many t-shirts. And I know you guys are going, Melanie, what? You told me to bring comfy clothes. Yes, okay, bring comfy clothes, but maybe like focus on the sweats and your favorite t-shirts and like hoodies, because in college they're gonna give away a lot of free merch. You're probably most commonly gonna receive t-shirts, so just keep that in mind, especially if you're involved in like clubs and stuff. Next, not too much jewelry. The first time I literally brought all of my jewelry, and I cannot tell you, I never switched my earrings. I did not have time or energy for that. This year I tried that. I still probably brought too many, but I tried to bring less. I also just wear the same jewelry every day now, so it's just like less work, but maybe I'm just getting lazier. And then I also said to check your storage beforehand. If you toured or can online tour or watch YouTube videos of someone who is showing a tour of your dorm room, that's so helpful, because there may be certain things you don't need to pack, and saving any little bit of space or room is always handy. I also said not too much workout clothes, just because, okay, this is also depending, but I worked out kind of a lot during the summer and just in general before college, but then once I got here I brought a lot of stuff, but I don't know, I was super busy, so I barely worked out. I just say be realistic with it. My last tip is to take into account where you go to school. Like I said, if you go to a beach school, you are gonna want to think of different things. You're gonna probably want to pack more sandals. Maybe you're gonna want to bring some of your beach equipment. And then if you go to a colder school, you're probably gonna want your puffer, or to think of packing clothes in layers or bringing a heated blanket or something like that. Other than that, those are the 50 things that I recommend all incoming students to consider when packing for school. Hopefully this isn't too late for you guys, but I know everybody be packing last minute. So anyways, if you guys want to see any other college advice or college videos, make sure to let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.